It's Josh Hilliker. I'm out at Portland, IPIP, here with Tim Duncan. You've seen him online, minus the helmet.
It's a nice camera, Josh.
Thank you, Tim. Show us, what are you talking to us about today? What do you got?
So we've created this cool little recipe on how to provision your computer and basically get a lab setup going so you can evaluate Intel vPro technology in 30 minutes or less. We have this setup wizard that takes about 4 of those hours out and converts them down to about 15 minutes. And just walks you through setting up your server with Active Directory and your DNS and IIS and all these other funny 3-letter acronyms that I don't understand. Oh, as well as if you're in a lab, it will also put on a SQL Server Express, which you need to manage this stuff. So here we are. We're done in configuring the server and the enterprise for SQL Server or for the AMT setup and configuration service.
And by the way, this application here is something that normally, if you had to do it manually, would take hours, if not up to a day or two, to do this by hand. We have a 150-page document that shows you how to do this, and we basically automated a good half of that.
Then you can bring up the setup and configuration console using the recipe. You create a profile. So here we are. We have our server set up to run setup and configuration services. We can now do remote provisioning. And so now I've taken my computer, I've plugged it in, and I'm not exactly sure how to get Activator, which used to be called RCT. I'm not sure how to set all these switches up that go in there. So we have the SCS RCT wizard that we can use to determine what the proper values of these command lines are. It'll essentially walk you through, you've got the server name and the DNS, then where the virtual directory is, where your certificates will live. It'll create the whole command line for you and then run it. And by running it, what it does is it sends a special internet packet, a hello packet, out to that server, which will get recognized in here. And so, as you see now, it has entered the setup and configuration service, and now the setup configuration service is taking the data that we threw it from the RCT wizard, or what is now called the Activator, and provisioning the system without us doing anything besides plugging in the computer and running a program on that remote computer. We are now provisioned. We never have to go back to that computer again to manage it. A suite of tools called the Manageability Developer Toolkit, formerly known as the Intel AMT Developer Toolkit, and then those of us within the company often just call it Commander. It is a management console, the SDK implemented as an example. So now I'm connected. The little gold lock indicates that I'm in a secure mode, which standard and advanced provisioning models are. If I was to connect it to the web UI, it would have to go through HTTPS and all this fun little stuff. And then I can come over here and do the remote management functionality through the terminal, which I can shut the computer off. If I have a serial agent running over there, I can check on devices and files and manage the system from far away. But I'm in a lab and I'm running a demo, and I'm still trying to figure out what my provisioning model should look like. So I want to change profiles on that computer. I need to unprovision this computer now. I do that using another tool in the DDK suite called Director. But now I have the option of unprovisioning the computer within this tool. I go like this, and notice the computer disappeared because it can't even see it anymore. And that's the end of our demo. Thank you very much. My name is Tim, the tool guy, Duncan, and my assistant here is Chris Delaney, the guy that actually can make this stuff work.
To make remote manageability and bringing up AMT-enabled client systems in 45 minutes or less.